Hello, YouTube! Welcome back to another Cooking with Denoy $1 meal challenge. I know some of you are looking at all these ingredients and saying, no way that can be $1, and indeed you are correct. This is actually one of the most complicated $1 meal challenges I've done to date. It is actually going to cost about $1, even though the initial investment is actually several dollars. And the reason it still qualifies as a dollar meal is because we're not cooking everything. We're saving parts of it to be used later in different meals. And, it's just showing that the total cost of putting it together is about $1 if you just use the serving size for the ingredients that'll serve one person. So that's how we're calculating it. For example, we are not going to use a whole package of bacon. That bacon was from Dollar Tree and it cost $1. And it has about 8 or 9 slices of bacon in it. So we're planning on using 2 slices of bacon. That means that's approximately what, 25 cents worth of bacon. 25 cents, 22 to 25 cents worth of bacon. And then the feta cheese was also $1 from Dollar Tree. I'm planning on using maybe a third of it, so that's about 33 cents. So we're up to about 50 cents so far. The eggs were a dozen eggs from Walmart for 87 cents. So I'm using 3 eggs, that's probably about 20 cents. That comes to what? About 60 cents, 70 cents or so. And of course the steamed vegetables were also $1, and we're only planning on using just a little bit of that, maybe about 10 or 15 cents worth. And of course these are pennies, the minced onion and the body were each $1, as well as the oil, but we're not using the whole amount. Those actually spread out over dozens of meals. And the rice itself was, I've already cooked it using my inverter cooking system. So that was cooked for free, using the vehicle's electricity that it was generating through the inverter while I was driving out here to my campsite at the compound here. But anyhow, what we're going to do is actually try to make an omelet, an egg omelet. This time, hopefully, it doesn't fall apart. I am going to make the omelet using all these ingredients. The first time I am trying to throw in some cheese, so we'll see how that turns out. And we'll be serving it for lunch, or actually brunch. It is going to be a fairly large, heavy meal. I am going to save the bacon and the vegetables and even the cheese for another meal later, possibly 2 meals later. So stay tuned for those episodes. If you are participating in the food challenge, my advice is to post the link to your video underneath the initial $1 Cooking with Denoy food challenge. That way I know one place where I can go look and see that people have submitted an entry, so that I can include you on the challenge, and also link back to your video in your channel so people can go to your channel, check out your content, subscribe to it, and learn from your ingredients and experience what you did with your cooking. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing I am going to do is actually cook up the bacon to get that out of the way, and then I will cook the vegetables. Even though they are pretty much cooked, I think I'll go ahead and heat them up with the bacon and set that aside. And then we'll go ahead and cook up the egg, throw in our mix, and then throw in the cheese and call it done, because the rice is already done. We'll go ahead and put together our serving. So let me go ahead and get the fire started. I have preloaded my homemade little stove, like semi-short, stubby rocket stove, if you want to call it that. But it is a tiny little stove, wood-burning stove. I put Fron, these things burn really well, in there, as well as some twigs, and poured in a little bit of the oil, this cheap oil, to help it to light up, and use some paper towels to get it going. And this is the setup that I found. I have some paper underneath there that when I do it like this, it seems to burn very well and stay lit. And then I can just add more fronds as needed to keep the fire going. So we're going to go ahead and put our pot on it, or our pan on it, put some oil on the pan, and we'll start the fire, then put that on there. So let me go ahead and do that. Alright, I did manage to get the fire lit, so hopefully it will burn. We'll go ahead and let it have a lot of oxygen right now while it is burning. Now it is catching underneath, so it is burning. And Once it looks like the fire is going, we'll go ahead and put our frying pan on it. The wind is kind of weird today. It seems to be going left, right, back, forth, forward. It's going all over the place, so stuff is blowing everywhere. So we're trying to get the twigs are burning right now. I'm going to stir it up a little bit to try to get the fire going underneath. Okay, it is catching on underneath. So we'll go ahead at this point and let's stir it up just a little bit here. Get the fire really, really going here. We need the back lit. The back isn't lit yet for some reason. We want the back to light up too. We need a fire all around. I might put it out. All right. I might add a couple more kindling on there to keep the fire burning before I try to put the pot on it, or the pan. All right, looks like the fire is indeed lit. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put the pan on it and start to let it heat up. I am going to go ahead and toss on some oil and then start the bacon cooking. We'll go ahead and toss on some oil here. A little bit of oil. And let the bacon start, throw the bacon on there and let it cook up. Alright, I've tossed on our 2 slices of bacon. We're having a hard time focusing here. Tossed on our 2 slices of bacon, and it is indeed frying up nicely. I'm going to go ahead and flip the bacon here and let it cook up. It's cooking very fast. Fire is really, really hot. Now, as far as fuel and cost of cooking, it's negligible because we are using wood, branches, and whatnot that we're getting for free out here at the compound. So bacon's like pretty much almost done. Very quick to cook this bacon, especially only 2 slices. What I'm going to do at this point is I am going to toss on the frozen vegetables. Yeah! Alright, here goes the frozen veggies. Just a little bit, enough for 1 serving. Whoa! And we have a fire! How exciting was that? Is that cool or what? And a flying pea. Oh, it's just like literally catching on fire. That's a first for me. I don't think you want to cook a dish like this inside the car. That was very interesting. Flame seared, huh? Okay, what we're going to do is take this off and set it aside while we cook up the eggs before we toss everything together and have our meal going here, because that was very interesting. Alright, I have our cooked bacon and corn and everything else I'm setting aside. That's going to be what we're going to put inside our omelet. Meanwhile, I am going to go ahead and prepare the eggs, which means just cracking the eggs, putting them into this bowl, mixing it up, throwing in some minced onions and badia, and tossing it on the fire over the fire on a frying pan. Alright, I've cracked the 3 eggs. Shells are there. Anyhow, we're going to go ahead and put in some of our badia complete. And it'll help to bring out the flavor. And some of our minced onion. Then it's just going to be a matter of beating up the eggs. So it looks like the eggs are fairly well beaten. This is much easier with 2 hands. Oh, crap! That's why I say it's much easier with 2 hands. I'm going to have to take another egg because I just lost an egg right there. Okay, I've tossed in a new egg. And I'm going to add a little bit more badia. And a little bit more of the minced onion. Make up for all that we lost over there. Yeah, this is normally done with 2 hands, not 1. Trying to cook and film with 1 hand here, holding the camera, is not exactly ideal. And mix that up. I think that just added an additional 7 cents to the meal. All right, now it's going to be a matter of putting our, you can see I added more wood here to keep the fire burning while we were doing the eggs, because it does kind of want to burn out. So we got all our wood here. It is still nice and super hot. I'm going to go ahead and put the pan back on here. And what we're going to do is toss our eggs on there. So let me get this lid off. Recoat that pan with the oil. And we're simply going to pour our eggs right on there. And let that cook up a little bit. Alright. There we go. We're going to kind of spread it out and let it cook. I'm wondering if my fire's dying. Oh, fire's still going. That's good. So we'll go ahead and let that kind of cook up. Make sure the eggs kind of cook, really cooked. Meanwhile, I am kind of spreading it out. Try to get to evenly cover the pan. I may add some more fuel to make sure the fire's still burning. Is this thing recording? I don't know if it's recording or not. It might have messed up here and didn't record the whole thing, but I basically had the fire going again here, and I have the eggs on here, so I am going to go ahead and open up the cheese packet there, the feta cheese, pour some on here, and let it cook up. Alright, I've popped up the feta cheese packet here, and we are going to pour some on here, just a little bit. There we go. Some feta cheese to help bring some flavor to our food here. And then on top of that, we are going to add our turkey bacon and the frozen veggies that we fried up earlier. This is just going to go on here. Alright, looks like we got it off. Now let's see if we can't flip over our egg here without it breaking into a million pieces. A little bit cooked here. Going on the burnt side. At least it's not totally burnt. And I am going to put the lid on it and let everything melt. Now I can see that it's getting a little overcooked because I'm spending time here trying to get the camera to film the process. Cooking this without filming it would probably be a little bit better. without having to stop and do all sorts of stuff. But I am going to go ahead and let it just melt the cheese now, but the food is pretty much done, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it off the fire so it doesn't burn, because I think it is indeed cooked at this point. We'll set it down and prepare our serving. Let's take a look at what we've got in here. But there is our omelet, a little bit on the burnt side, but not too bad, hopefully. We'll go ahead and prepare the rice and put together our dish and show you what we've got for brunch going on today. And this is actually enough to serve like 2 people, if you eat it with rice. I thought you guys might be interested in seeing what I do to save the food. I know it's a mess in here, I still need to clean. But basically I put it into one of these Ziploc bags, and then I can put it right into the little refrigerator thingy here. And that's how I'll store the food for use later today. Alright, here then is what my single serving looks like. And that looked pretty good. Eggs are a little bit burnt. I kind of overcooked it a little bit because of the filming slowing me down, because you really kind of have to monitor eggs closely. They burn really fast. But anyhow, this is what it looks like inside. Look at that cheese. Mostly melted. Let's go ahead and try our turkey bacon omelet. Healthy lunch, hopefully, with all the veggies and everything. It is, this serving is actually probably about 50 or 60 cents a serving. Because, you know, we used about $1 worth of ingredients inside what we cooked, and it's enough to serve 2 people. If we went a little bit over, it's probably $1.10, $1.20 at the most. So this is probably a 50 to 60 cent breakfast right here that we're looking at. So let me go ahead and try this out. So good. The eggs actually taste very good, even though they're a little bit burnt, but they're actually not bad. I like them. And you can actually taste the cheese here. I know some of it's not melted. That's okay. Oh my goodness. Definitely a meal worth trying out. Having the turkey bacon in here really makes it taste like a full-blown meal, because you got actual meat. I'm assuming that's actually turkey meat. This is so good. I know this brunch is going to hold me over for at least 4 or 5 hours before I get hungry again. And for those of you who've been telling me I need to eat more greens, more vegetables, hopefully this will make you happy. And we do have some more left over, which I'll be using for another dish, maybe even 2 more dishes. So should be an interesting cooking episode with the leftovers. In the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe, eating well, and just taking it easy if you can. And if you're not able to take it easy, I hope you are at least staying safe, and want you to know that you are in my thoughts and prayers. Take care, everyone. God bless you all.